Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Alumni Talk series. I'm your host Malia Humayun and I'm working as a cluster manager at Amal Academy. Today with us, we have another really amazing alumni, Abdullah Javed. He's from one of our initial batches, batch number 5. So let's say hi to Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum Abdullah.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you doing?
I am good.
So what's happening nowadays?
First of all, I will going to thanks for inviting me over here. And currently, I am delivering my services as a resident engineer in PIRA department. PIRA stands for Punjab Enforcement and Regulatory Authority. And currently, I am posted in Tehsil Shalamar.
That sounds really interesting. And how does it feel to be back to the same platform after so many years?
Honestly, I feel myself very happy and much motivated. I always dreamed of such a post where I can deliver to the people and in any way, I can prove myself beneficial for the society. So by being on this post, I think so I can do that in a better way.
That sounds very interesting. I mean, high impact jobs require a lot of motivation and a lot of hard work. So I guess the first question that I have is just to understand that what keeps you so motivated that you go out there every day and you do your work with a lot of hard work?
The thing which motivates me is the issues of the people. And in Amal Academy, I have done the fellowship in 2014. The thing which we were taught in the Amal program, but taking care of the people's kindness, patience, and all these things have played a very vital role in my grooming, in making my personality firm. तो उसमें जो हमें एक रोल था कि जी हमने लोगों का ख्याल करना है, लोगों का एहसास करना है. By profession, I'm a telecom engineer. I have done my internship in PTCL. Lekin at that place, I was thinking that I cannot deliver in a better way towards the people. But by being in a civil services, I think so I can prove very beneficial towards the people, can address their grievances and sort out their problems and do in a better way.
That sounds really amazing. So I guess that's a fulfilling life, right? When you give back to the community where you belong from.
Excellent.
I totally can understand and resonate to your need to support the people around you. So like you said, the issues of the people.
Yes.
So resolving them is something that brings you joy.
Yes.
Abdullah, I think that's a very it's an amazing motive to live your life by. So, Abdullah, you mentioned engineering, right?
Yes.
So, was engineering always something that you were passionate about, or was that something that you developed interest in later on?
From my childhood, I was good in science. I was good in mathematics. So from there, I take those subjects as a root point. And from there, I pursued my engineering. And from my childhood, I was clear that I will going to opt for an engineering profession. So after completing my engineering, then again, I just switched my profession towards the civil services. And now by being appointed as a resident engineer, I'm just not only overlooking the engineering stuff, I'm also overlooking the administrative accounts, operations, and other stuffs too over there.
Sounds a very complex job, right? Yes. You're looking at various different fields.
Yes.
So it's really interesting. Like you just mentioned that you were really sure that you wanted to be an engineer.
Yes.
There's so many engineering fields out there. Yes. So how did you end up making the switch from being an engineer to working in the government sector and like as a civil officer? How does that work?
Honestly, I have already let you know previous in my introduction, like I have this thing in myself to deliver towards the people, to be in such position where I can make a change towards the people. So that was the thing which just enlightens that thing in myself. And I think of delivering towards the people by coming on a front end. And from there, all these things started. जो आपके अंदर एक motivation होती है ना कि मैं society को क्या change कर रहा हूँ. Just like the Amal Academy, like they are, मतलब मैं ये समझता हूँ बहुत बेहतरीन organization है जो free of cost और हर तरीके से society को deliver कर रही है. They are polishing the new graduate students from university. So same way, मैं ये समझता हूँ by being on this position, I can deliver towards the nation, towards the people. जो जिसकी कोई भी बात नहीं सुनता, तो अगर हम भी नहीं सुनेंगे, तो फिर there is no difference. At least we should be addressing their issues.
I think that's very honorable, Abdullah. Definitely very honorable. So what was that one pivotal moment in your life where you realized that, you know what, I cannot work in an environment where I'm not supporting people? So as you know, as most of our viewers are young graduates or alumni or currently fellows who are working, who are enrolled in Amal at the moment. thinking from their perspective, they're right now starting their journey, starting their career.
Yes.
So thinking about that and keeping them in mind, can you share what was your pivotal moment in life, like when you decided that it's absolutely engineering, and then you had this realization that I cannot work in an environment where I'm not supporting people. So like when and how did it happen that you were like, I need to go out and I need to solve people's problem, and that's the life I want for myself?
I should be telling you, like from my father's side, we were facing some litigations regarding land. We have some land which was disputed. So I have, I have been court couple of times, but that case was not being resolved. So from there, at that stage, I've just recently completed my engineering in 18. At that time, I was thinking, कि अगर मेरा इशू नहीं सॉल्व हो रहा, आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ बीइंग डिपेंडेंट ऑन समवन एल्स, तो क्यों ना मैं एक ऐसी फॉर्मेशन में आ जाऊं कि मैं अपना तो ठीक है, आप इशू सॉल्व करें, आप लोगों के लिए भी यू शुड बी प्रूविंग वेरी बेनिफिशियल. एंड पैरेलल, नॉट आफ्टर जस्ट डूइंग दिस इंजीनियरिंग, आई हैव स्टार्टेड पैरेलल डूइंग लॉ एंड आल्सो डूइंग LLB. सो ये जो सारी चीजें होती हैं कि जब आप ये, एंड वन थिंग, देयर इज नो one other in my family who is a civil servant except my sister. She's also a civil servant. And in my family, I don't have a father. I'm just only a single son. So all these, by keeping all these things in mind, so I want to be in that vital position where I can deliver people. और ये सारी चीज थी, और by being in a PTCL, I don't think so that I can change a much difference in the society, because वो एक बहुत अच्छी job है, but it's not that much thrilled. From my personality, I was having a thrilled job on the daily basis. We have some targets, we have to achieve those. So I am having that sort of a personality. So for being on this position, I think so I am having that opportunity.
I think, Abdullah, the one thing that really stood out from what you said is like personal experiences.
Yes.
Right? So whatever a person goes through, they want to make a change in other people's life. Like you went through a difficult time where your case was not being heard. So you felt like nobody's solving my problem. So that sparked a change in your personality, in your thought process. And that's how you motivated yourself that I want to be one of those people who contribute positively towards other people's life. So I think that is something that our Amal fellows and, all the viewers out there can also relate to, that personal motivation and personal life experiences, they definitely shape who you are right now.
Yes, so true.
Okay, so you've mentioned so many different, dynamics and so many different departments that you've worked with. Yeah. So thinking from a professional point of view, you mentioned that you worked in police, you worked in anti-corruption departments as well, and you're constantly out there making a difference in other people's life. How do you manage to keep integrity, I think, and how do you manage to stay professional when you're shifting from one place to another and your environment is constantly changing? Your line managers are always changing. The kind of people you're interacting with, that's all changing. So how do you stay on top of everything?
From the first day of my job, I was having one thing very clear, like the rule of law should be the first priority, and I will going to manage each and everything according to the rule of law and according to the act on the behalf of which we will going to proceed. So when you will going to follow that, and so I don't think so like you should be facing any sort of an issue. And when your seniors are aware, like you are honest, you maintain transparency in everything, so they will going to safeguard and protect you, and they will be going to help you in each and every matter there.
That's wonderful to hear, to have supportive people around you. But what do you think you did right? Of course, loyalty and integrity are really important points. How do you maintain integrity? How do you make sure that you're absolutely on top of your work field and constantly on top of all the tasks that are being assigned to you?
I let you know I am thrilled. I'm motivated to do these things. From my childhood, I had a passion to be in an administrative role. So by being on this position, I think so like I can deliver in a better way towards the people. और हर वक्त जो चीज़ मुझे मोटिवेट रखती है वो लोगों की एक प्यार है, लोगों का मोहब्बत है, लोगों का एक यकीन है, और लोगों के जो इश्यूज हैं वो जब हमारे तक आते हैं और जब उनके हम ग्रीवेंस एड्रेस करते हैं तो जो उनके एक चेहरे पे खुशी होती है ना, तो वो एक बहुत प्राइसलेस सी होती है. वो मतलब मैं आप कहता हूँ आप चाहे जितनी मर्जी सैलरी ले लें, वो चीज़ आपको नहीं खुशी दे सकती जो एक बंदे का कोई भी इशू जब रिजॉल्व करते हैं.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that. So you seek motivation from that.
Yes.
I totally understand. So another question that's coming to my mind is that I'm sure there are a lot of critical skills that are required. You know, Abdullah, I'm sure when you're dealing with a lot of different personnels and you're dealing with different types of people, different type of mentalities and different type of areas. So I'm sure there are a lot of active decisions required and a lot of critical thinking on your part. So if you were to say that, these are, Maliha, that these are some skills that I always abide by, which skills and which critical skills would that be?
Like, first of all, I will going to say communication skills. You should be listening to the people's whatever they are saying, and then you will going to conclude what it is. And then secondly, you should be having a good connection with each and every member of your team. So you should be aware of whatever the things are going on. So it will going to deliver you a very good picture about the things and areas. And secondly, you are talking, because obviously we have been posted in a couple of different areas and these things. So we got these things has given us a lot of exposure, that we have get to know about their cultures, about their traditions, because every area is having, South Punjab is having a different culture and traditions. The developed areas are having a different. So obviously we get to know about the people, about their traditions, about their culture. So this gives you a lot of exposure.
Absolutely. So,
And then honesty and stick to your work. You should be focused. And one thing which I will going to like highlight this, you should be focusing on one and single thing, like whatever the skill it is, either whatever you are, but just develop one skill and you should be the master of that. Don't be a jack of all trades. I think so you should be master of that.
I think these are really great insights. I mean, being open to communication, of course, and then being consistent is another really important trait. And I think I agree with you on this, that once you're sure about what career you want, once you've made that decision, I think the right thing is to focus on it and retry every day and make sure that that one skill that you're working towards is like you're 100% at it.
Yes.
Right. So for you, it's more about communicating with people and being an open ear for them, like an active listener as well. That's great. So I have a very interesting question. Like, this is a question that I'm sure a lot of people out there as well always think, and it's a question that I personally also always think. So if you could go back and you could give one message to yourself, your younger self, what message would that be?
Just focus on one thing. Because on parallel, when I was like 7-8 years ago, so I was focusing on a couple of different things. So I think so at that time, if I just get an opportunity to get back, I will going to say myself, just focus on one thing, just leave the rest of the things, because you can't achieve that excellence if you are focusing on a couple of things. So you should be stick with one thing, one goal, and it will going to work. Let's suppose if you met a failure once, go for the second time, then third time, fourth time. There will be a day. One day is written for you, and that will be your day. Remember that. Allah never takes off your hard work. He will always going to pay it off. So that's what.
I agree on that. I think hard work always, smart work, hard work, however you put it, it always gets rewarded.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people, Abdullah, who find it really hard to focus on one thing. It's really tough for them to pick, because so many things are happening around them and they're trying their level best to make it out in the world. And picking one thing can be a little scary as well. You can understand.
Yeah,
I'm sure
totally
when you
get
were
it.
trying to pick one thing, even if I talk about myself, when I was trying to pick one field, it was really difficult for me.
Yes.
I was scared that what if this field doesn't work out? I should probably also know, 2 or 3 other fields as well, so I can adjust anywhere. So for a person who is scared of picking one field, what advice would you give to that person? And what did you do?
Okay,
when
on
you
a
were trying to
parallel,
pick?
honestly, we should be having 2 to 3 plans in life. If the first will not going to work, we should not be facing that bad failure. We should be having a second plan, then we should be having a third plan. But the thing is, we should be stick to that plan which comes from our inner soul. जो भी चीज आपको बहुत ज्यादा पसंद है, वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. Either you are good at painting, fine, take that thing as a profession, because you will going to do hard work for that. मैं आपको कहता हूँ start doing medicine, आप उसका पढ़ लें, आप कहेंगे कि जी नहीं मेरा तो profession ही नहीं है. But when you are stick with the anything which you likes, you will going to get up early in the morning, you will going to struggle for that, you will going to keep late at night, and you will going to work for that. So this is the thing, first of all, you should highlight the main objectives for which you have sent on this planet. And then there should be anything which gives you an inner peace or satisfaction. Just target those three goals and just start doing hard work for that.
I think inner satisfaction is definitely very important. But sometimes, people have this hesitance and reluctance in their mind. I'm sure my viewers can also agree with me on this, that sometimes, you are not able to pursue the things that you absolutely love because there are a lot of practicalities to be considered. A high paying job is required, or it's not feasible, or you're not able to get a job in the field that you absolutely love. So you revert to something else. So do you think that happens?
I don't think so. I think so because in this contemporary era, if we talk about the mode of earnings have changed. Like previously, there was no concept of e-commerce. Now people are earning so great, even from not from the jobs, but from that they are earning great. Secondly, they are they are learning from TikToks, they are earning from Facebook and different other social media platforms. So these are the things which I think so. If you are a good painter, you can earn good. If whatever the thing you are doing, if you are great at that, you will going to earn great. Even you are just good at writing, so you can teach a couple of students and you can earn good from there.
I think that is true to some extent. I agree with that. I think even if you are working a 9 to 5 job, let's say, you do have the space to create paintings and then sell them, or post your writing or write a blog. I think it's the kind of world we live in nowadays. It gives us opportunities. It's not restrictive anymore. You don't have to just be doing one thing. We could focus on one thing, and you could also have other hobbies and other things that really inspire you.
Perfect.
I think that gives a motive, a fulfilled life. I think on that note,
I still want to mention one thing more
please.
over here. One of our great police official is currently serving on the rank of DIG. I will not going to disclose the name of his because currently serving in the Punjab government. When he's having a very, very busy routine, I have been working with him. He's having a very busy routine. But one thing I have noticed in his personality, like whenever he finds some leisure time, he just get into his that particular room where he has some wooden stuff. He makes different things from wood.
Wow.
Like these things really arises a lot of couple of different questions in my mind कि एक बंदा इतनी high position पे है, DIG है, वो उसके पास क्या टाइम है, लेकिन but still he have that skill, और वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि like he is giving his self a time and making some things from that wood. So this is a thing, like जो भी आपके अंदर जो skills हो जो अल्लाह की तरफ से आपके अंदर हैं, so you should work on that, you should polish them, and you should sell those things in the market, and you should
beautiful example, Abdullah. I think that's a beautiful example. I think that's his idea of me time, just shutting all the noise out of the world and focusing on what you love most.
So
your own personal sanctuary, you would say, like your haven, your safe haven. I think it's really important for everybody to have that that space where you're allowed to be yourself unapologetically. And I think that is one of the most important things to have in life. I think with that, I have one last question, Abdullah. And that question is that, reflecting on your journey, what's one lesson, one insight that you think that every Amal fellow who's currently watching us, or any fellow of that age group of making a decision, starting their career, what advice would you give to those people?
Okay. Firstly, I will say you should be persistent. Whatever the goal you select, you should be persistent in that. And secondly, you should not be having a fear of failure. Let's suppose if you met the failure, you should be having a plan B and plan C to execute. So this is the thing I will going to advise to the next.
Being consistent and having backup plans. Yeah. I think that's very wise. It's always good to have plan A. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. We're not going to think too much about it. We're going to revert to plan B. And if plan B, God forbid, doesn't work, there's always plan C, and so on. So I think that's really beautiful, Abdullah. And, interacting with fellows who are doing such an impactful job and they're creating such positive energy in the world, I think it's definitely a win for us as an organization, as Amal, as a person. I think it's one of the most beautiful things to host people who are making such a good impact in people's life. I think you sleep better at night when you know that a bunch of people are really happy about you. So I think, Abdullah, with that, I would just like to thank you for joining
Thank you
us.
so much for
And
inviting me.
I know that you had such a busy schedule. A lot was going on in
Yes.
your life. And I know that you have a lot of matters to tend to
Yes.
after this. But I'm so happy that you
Same
took
here,
out time
same here,
and that
same
you're
here.
here with us today.
Same here.
Any final remarks that you have?
Uh, I always feel happy myself whenever Amal invites me, और इनके जो भी मॉक इंटरव्यूज भी होते हैं तो आई ट्राई टू मेक माई कमिटमेंट कि मैं उधर आ सकूं. तो एक अमल की फेलोशिप में एक चीज़ सिखाई जाती है कि टू गिव समथिंग बैक. तो वो चीज़ आई एम ओवर हियर आज इसीलिए हूँ कि टू गिव बैक और लोगों को इस एक्सपीरियंस से लोग कुछ लर्न कर सकें. दिस इज दैट वाइज व्हिच आई थिंक.
Well, Abdullah, I can say for the entire organization that you make us proud.
Thank
Every
you so
person you help out there is a person who has a better life. And for that, I think not only us as an organization, as citizens of Punjab and all the other governments that you assist with, we are incredibly proud of the work that you do. And I know that it gets tough when you give so much of yourself to other people. So once again, thank you so much for joining, and I wish you good luck in your future endeavors. And I really hope to stay connected with you in the future as well. And Amal would love to invite you to other things as well.
Sure.
So thank you again, once again. Thank you so much for joining.